Hey guys, it's me, G2 here. Before I get today's episode started, I forgot to mention, when I was recording this episode, about daylight savings time. If you're over here in the States, you know what it is. Daylight savings time is over, so please, whenever you do get up, or if you are already up and you're listening to this episode now, go to your clocks, change them back 1 hour back, and enjoy that hour sleep or that 1 hour rest that you are now going to be getting until they decide to throw us back to daylight savings time again, because I am happy that we're back on regular time, and I think you guys should be happy too. So that's what I wanted to put at the beginning of today's episode before you guys get the official, you know the deal, song and interest from me. So again, enjoy regular time. I'm glad to be getting this hour back, and I hope you guys enjoy this time that you're getting back to, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages,
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. I am G2. This is episode 252 of the podcast, and the first thing I'd like to do is ask every single one of you, how are you guys doing? I'm hoping that everyone had a great to awesome week as we closed out October of 2025, and as we're entering November of 2025. I'm hoping that everyone was safe this Halloween. Even though Halloween was on the 31st, which is the last day of October, which, I'm gonna say this, it caught me off guard. You would think last week they should have did all the Halloween stuff, but since the 31st is technically Halloween and it's, landing, it was just weird. That's all I'm gonna say. Time just really feels very, very weird to me. I'm not certain if it's just me. I'm not certain if it's everywhere else. But for me, it just felt very, very weird seeing the festivities happen technically on back-to-back weekends. Because last weekend they were doing trick-or-treating for some of the kids. And I was seeing people post up their Halloween costumes last week. And just the past couple of days, I saw people post up their Halloween costumes and seeing in my face in live in person people walking the streets on their Halloween night. So again, I'm not certain if it's just me or the times was just playing around for me. That's just me. But other than that, I'm hoping everybody had a solid, safe trick or treat. I'm hoping everyone had a solid, safe Halloween festivity, whether you went out to party with your friends or associates, or you just went out to hang around with your kids. I'm hoping everyone just stayed safe. And I hope that older siblings and parents looked after their younger siblings and or children and their treats that they got for trick-or-treating, because I don't want to read or see nothing on television or any of these tweets about kids being poisoned or taking any type of THC edible. You know what I mean? Because you got certain packages that look like actual licensed candy and even food packages, which will get kids caught up and even get some adults caught up and not know that that's not the right package they're supposed to be taking or give out to the kids. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that nobody got any of that, but I'm just hoping that everyone just stayed safe. Okay. Also, I say this every Sunday, and I'm going to continue to say it. Since it is holiday time, and you know what's about to come up next, Thanksgiving is coming up, I don't want people to start stressing out over things that you cannot control. Only handle or only take care of your problems. Do not try to handle anybody else's problems. Do not try to add any more onto your plate, because stress is a silent killer. Stress takes people out. People will overdo it. I don't want people to overdo themselves, overwork themselves, and cause themselves to go into a state where your body starts shutting down on you. Because if you can't control yourself mentally, then guess what happens? Your physical body will start to shut down on you, and everything just starts to crumple, and it all starts with stress. So ladies and gentlemen, I know it's hard right now, because again, we are still in a government shutdown, and people aren't receiving some of the benefits that they were supposed to receive or that they are used to receiving thanks to said shutdown. And I know it's causing people stress, but please do not stress over things you cannot control. Handle what you can handle and just wing it. That's the best I got for you guys here. So please don't stress out over things you cannot control. Handle what you can handle and just go about your day, okay? Now, with that stated, it is time for me to move on to your National Food Days of the Week. Since it is November 2nd, it is Deviled Egg Day. November the 3rd will be Bison Day as well as Sandwich Day. November 4th will be Candy Day. November 5th will be Donut Day as well as Chinese Takeout Day. November 6th, Nachos Day. November 7th, Bittersweet Chocolates with Almond Day. And to round us out, November the 8th is Cappuccino Day. Now, with that said, that was your National Food Days of the Week. And now it's time for me to move over to some of the news that I do want to talk about. But before I get to that, I would like to mention this. We're out of October now. We're going over into November. I have been pondering this thought, or I've been asking myself more specifically, where do Spirit Halloween and all these Halloween stores go whenever Halloween is over? And I Googled that answer and they said that they shut down. Spirit Halloween, the locations that they get or that they decide to rent out of a building, they decide to pack it up after Halloween is over because it is a seasonal thing. And they will only come back, I believe it's towards the end of August, beginning of September, towards the beginning of November. That's when you start seeing Spirit Halloweens around. Now, that's for the physical locations, but online, apparently Spirit Halloween is operating fully functioning all year round. So if people still want to pick up Halloween costumes or just costumes in general, Spirit Halloween is operating all year round online. I did not know that. That's just something that pondered my mind every single year when I would see the Spirit Halloween stops in stores just be there. And they'll be there for one moment, Halloween's over, drive by, you see that same location there, and Spirit Halloween is no longer there. It would just ponder my mind year in and year out. I just thought, I'll just look it up. So I looked it up, and now I know the answer, and now you guys know the answer too. That's one. Two, I went out with my sister Friday to one of her friends' birthday events, and the kids were talking about how October leads more into December, and they don't really associate Thanksgiving anymore, November anymore with anything. Like Thanksgiving is just a nothing holiday. And I'm trying to think, is that just a consensus for teenagers, kids, or that's a consensus for everybody? Because not only have I heard my sister's friend group say this, I've heard adults say this as well. They don't really pay attention to Thanksgiving like that. They can just brush off that. They're more focused on Christmas. And you've seen it even with the marketing. You've seen it for the past couple of years, but now I'm starting to see people really express that now, of people just bypassing Thanksgiving and just focusing more on Christmas. You've seen it when stores start putting up Christmas items. Literally, as soon as October is over, you start seeing on November 1st, they start putting out Christmas items, or even before November 1st, they already start putting up Christmas items towards the end of October, because that's the next big holiday of, I would just like to say, people raking in cash, at least the rental stores. People don't pay attention no more to Thanksgiving, man, and that's a shame, at least for someone like me. For me, I like Thanksgiving. I think that's probably my number one holiday, because again, that's whenever you're surrounded by family, you give thanks, you guys eat good, and you just chill with one another. Now, people would say you do that on Christmas too, but Christmas, to me, it just feels more, you give out gifts. Is more of a gift exchanging type of holiday, unless you're in one of those families where you don't do all the big exchanging of gifts on Christmas like that. You do it on the days leading up, and then on Christmas Day, you guys get that one big final gift. And now you guys sit down with one another. Yeah, sure, you play around with the gift that you got, but you literally sit down with one another. You guys talk to one another. You guys, once again, give thanks for each other being around. And you guys just start commiserating about the year, about how the year has treated you guys and all that. Certain family does that, but it just feels that Thanksgiving is just being, again, bypassed and looked over. And I want to know if people are deading Thanksgiving, or is that just a small group of people and everybody else is still doing Thanksgiving? Because it does feel that that's where we're going. It seems like we're erasing Thanksgiving off of the American holiday. And I don't want that to be the case, because I want people to know this. If you guys decide to erase Thanksgiving off, guess what? You guys will be working Thanksgiving, that whole Thanksgiving weekend. So I just want to say, you guys probably want to pay attention and actually care about Thanksgiving. I'm not saying do the whole big commercialization the way that Christmas, like, is the king of it whenever it comes down to the end of the year. But I would like for people to start giving some pushback for Thanksgiving. Start showing Thanksgiving some love, because if you don't, they're going to take it away from you, and they're going to have you start working that Thanksgiving week where you guys would usually not have that week to work. You guys will be off and start traveling to be with family on that week. You know what I mean? Leading up to Thanksgiving. But, yeah, that's just something that I just wanted to throw out there, because I saw it in my face, live, and, me being a Thanksgiving guy, it's just something that just pondered my thoughts. So again, the question that I'm kind of proposing is, are people really deading Thanksgiving as a whole big general thing, or is is it a small group of people starting to dead Thanksgiving? Has it caught on to the masses? That's what the question basically goes down to. Has it caught on to the masses that Thanksgiving is dead, or is just that not a thing yet? That's all I'm just throwing out there for the people, at least over here in the States. I can't talk about for other countries, but I know over here in the States, it's one of those things that I'm starting to see gather a following. But that's neither here nor there. Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, going off of that, now it's time for me to talk about the news. And the first thing I do want to talk about is giving thoughts and prayers over to people that lost family, friends, and relatives, or even associates because of the Hurricane Melissa that hit the Caribbean islands, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Haiti. These areas would get hit by Hurricane Melissa. USA Today would write an article about it. They would say more than 50 deaths have been blamed on Melissa as of the morning of November 1st. In Jamaica, as of right now, 19 deaths have been confirmed, but they said that the number is expected to increase as authorities confirm additional reports of deaths. 31 people were killed in Haiti at least, some of which weren't directed by Hurricane Melissa, but were suffered from extensive flooding and heavy rainfall for days that came from Hurricane Melissa. They say at least 23 of those deaths, including 10 children, were the result of flooding in the coastal town of Pinty-Gove. I'm hoping I said that town's name right, where a river burst into banks. At least 2 deaths were reported in the Dominican Republic, including one person who died before the storm made landfall, according to the Pan American Health Organization. But Jamaica and all these other islands, they did get hit by Melissa, but people are really focusing on Jamaica. People's homes will get devastated. Business got devastated. People lost electricity. They're saying some 460,000 people up remain without power. And they said on October 31st, authorities in Jamaica said they were working to deliver food and other aid to people devastated by Melissa and recover the bodies of additional people reported dead using helicopters to reach areas with impassable roads. So as of right now, Jamaica is still going through it. And also other islands, as I said, Dominican Republic, they're going through it. Haiti, they're going through it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please send your thoughts and your prayers and your well condolences to the people that lost loved ones, lost friends, lost associates, or just send your thoughts to just people in general out here that's lost things because of Hurricane Melissa. And not just that. This year we've went through a lot of situations just out here in the world, whether it comes from people that are in wars or people that are losing homes or just possessions because of natural disasters or man-made disasters. People have been losing a lot this year, not just in the States, but worldwide. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, just say a prayer and hoping that 2025, as we are ending it out, because we only got one more month before this this year closes out. I'm hoping that December isn't going to lead us down a destructive path, but by the way everything is going right now, it could lead us with one more devastating natural disaster or man-made one. I don't want that to come to pass, but just say a prayer. Just say a prayer for everyone. And even though certain people might not believe in a higher power, just say positive affirmations. Say some positive affirmations for people out there and try to spread some positivity. That's all I'm trying to say here, because we all need it. I don't care whether people say, I don't want your prayers or your positive affirmations. Still give it to them, because everyone needs it. Everyone needs it. But thoughts and prayers to everyone that's been affected by Hurricane Melissa. And I do hope that they do get some type of relief from other countries to pitch out and help out people over there that, once again, have lost homes, lost businesses, lost family members. That's just lost things. Okay? Now, with that said, now it's time for me to move over to U.S. political news. And you know what I do before I talk about it? I got to give this little bumper at the beginning. The thoughts and opinions that you're about to hear about political news come from the mind and thoughts of G2, nobody else. This is not a Democratic agenda podcast. This is not a Republican agenda podcast. This is just one man's thoughts and opinions. I have no political allegiance to any political party, because I think all of it's just a facade, personally. But yeah, what you're about to hear is just my thoughts and opinions, so don't think I'm pushing anything onto anybody, all right? So, with that said, let's get on with it. Our president here, Donald Trump, has announced on October 23rd that the United States will immediately resume nuclear weapons tests, a move he said is needed to ensure the country keeps up with its rival nuclear powers. In a Truth Social post, Trump touted progress made on nuclear weapons modernization during his first term, but he warned that China's nuclear weapons buildup will place Beijing's arsenal on equal footing with the United States and Russia's within 5 years. He would say, because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. I don't like that. Again, I'm more of the, hey, if we're going to do something, we need to keep it silent. We don't need to alert everybody of what we're doing. Now, this could be a scare tactic, because, you know, with him saying this, it will go and reach other country leaders, and it could kind of put them on the fence, or probably get them worried, because certain countries, they're not up to snuff with American weaponry. Because one thing about America, we like our weapons. We like to keep ourselves, I'm not going to just say up to date, but we like to keep a lot of arsenal at our backing if we happen to do something. We like to make sure that we have enough, and more than enough, that if we do decide to go to quote unquote war with another country, we're able to kind of demolish them. That's the overarching premise of America's military or their weaponry when you think about America. Okay. And for me, I just don't like that our guy that's supposed to be running this thing is telling that to the world, saying that we're about to start testing nuclear weapons on a regular basis. I don't like that. I'll let you just keep that silent. You don't have to let people know that. You don't have to alert people about that. I think that you guys should find some clear space somewhere in the United States, which I'm pretty sure you guys got, that people don't know nothing about. Only people that might know is the people that's probably around it. Like miles away, they'll hear rumblings in the night or rumblings in the afternoon. Like those people might know of something, but they don't know what it is. But in the United States, I think that you can do that somewhere without hurting people and test your nuclear weapons out. I don't think you have to alert or tell anybody about that. You guys should keep that silent, keep that secret. So whenever another country tries to test you, tries to step up to you and tries to say that they're going to bomb you or attack the United States or whatever, America will always be, as it has always been, at least for my timing since I've been alive, they've been ready to blow something up. We have been ready to blow something up. We've been ready to go to war because, as I said already, America keeps a bunch of weapons at its backing. So I'm just not happy with the thought of Trump announcing this. Do I think that America has already been testing nuclear weapons? Of course. I think America does that, if not on a regular basis, at least every year, just to make sure that their weapons are still good and make sure everything still works properly. So whenever, again, another country does happen to get froggy, we can do something about that and quickly try to stop something, or send some of our stuff over to who we are helping, who we are allies with, other countries. You know what I mean? But I just don't like that Trump announced that. There's just certain things I feel that as a leader of the country, you do have to keep silent. You don't have to say, because then when you do so, a lot of people will start to criticize you. And I'm not just talking about myself, because again, you can test out nuclear weapons all you want. I feel that they've been doing that already. I'm talking about people that don't want nuclear testings to be happening. People that will try to protest that. People that will try to say that we shouldn't be having nuclear weapons. Listen, I live in a realistic world. I have a realistic mindset. I feel that every nation has nuclear weapons. Certain nations don't because they're not big enough, and personally, certain countries thug them out of their nuclear weapons and kind of take it away from other countries. But those big boy ones like China, Russia, ourselves, these are like the main three that I feel we have nuclear weapons, just straight up. And people are just itching right now just to kind of pull it. I don't want it to happen because nuclear war would mean complete devastation for humanity. But again, testing them, sure, it's been happening. Announcing it to the world that you're doing that, no. You keep your mouth shut. You constantly do what you've been doing and just wait. That's all I have a problem with. Again, doing the testing, fine. But announcing it, no. This is the reason why I think someone should have gotten Trump's Truth Social account and say whoever is posting that, don't post that. Don't do that at all. Because again, you're alerting people about what we're doing or what we have been doing. But there might be, as I said earlier already, that just might be a scare tactic to keep other countries at bay and tell them, hey, don't get froggy. Because Trump has been doing this tariff business with other countries that he feels been disrespecting him, and it just feels like a bullying tactic to me that Trump is doing with that, and I don't like it because again, even though we have a lot of weapons that are backing, dog, if you see an enemy in front of you that you've been talking smack against, you got to think how many other enemies that you also probably pissed off and that they, your enemy, have probably talked with on the side, say, hey, I'm going to be the hand that they see while you be the hand that they don't see. Meaning America might have their eyes focused on China, because this article stated right here that China's supposed to be trying to, what is it? Trump is worried about China's nuclear weapons, right? Trying to say that they're going to be on equal footing like the US and Russia. Imagine if China has already talked to Russia and they said they're going to do this decoy factor, saying that China's going to be the one that America is as of right now looking at, while Russia on the back end will be the one start attacking America, and then America will have to focus their mindset back on Russia, and then China start coming in and bombing it. Now you got 2-on-1 basically war efforts. I don't want that to happen. I don't want none of that to happen. Okay, so again, I just don't think he should announce that at all. Just wait for another country to just get froggy, and then you pull your trigger. That's what I feel should have happened. Again, someone on this team should have deleted that Truth Social post before he even got out there. Matter of fact, there should be some type of freaking stages where, hey, this is what he wants me to post. There should be someone stopping it to proofread it, one. And then two, go to someone else to say, hey, do you think we should post that? And then they say yes or no. And then you get to another person and they read that and they essentially get the final judgment call to say yes or no to that. Because right now, again, Trump's not doing the best with everybody. And again, I just don't want people to be attacked. That's all I'm trying to get at here. That's all. So again, him posting that, I'm not happy about it, but it's already been like a thing where America has already always been testing their nuclear weapons. So that's not something new to me there. Okay. Next up, SNAP benefits. We are in November now, and at the time of me recording this right now, the government shutdown is still happening. And if you're in America, you know that SNAP, EBT, that those benefits are kind of dwindling, and they've been said that in November they won't be around. Well, it seems that that's kind of changed a little bit. I want to read you an article here from CNN, and it's talking about 2 federal judges ordering the Trump administration to use emergency funds to provide at least potential food benefits to tens of millions of Americans in November. It was said that President Donald Trump on Friday evening said that he instructed the administration's lawyers to ask the courts how it can legally fund benefits as quickly as possible. He will post again on Truth Social. Even if we get immediate guidance, it will unfortunately be delayed while the states get the money out. If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor, and he put that in capitalized, to provide the funding, just like I did with military and law enforcement pay. Still, the much needed assistance won't come that quickly for many food stamp recipients. Also, it remains unclear whether they'll receive their full benefits or small amounts, since the U.S. Department of Agriculture Contingency Fund doesn't have enough money to cover the total cost. I don't believe in that. I think that they have money. I think that just certain people at the top don't want to give out that big allotment of money. But here's the thing. Apparently, they're still going to be able to give you guys some type of SNAP or EBT. It just won't be your full amount, however much that is. It'll probably be, if anything, by the way this administration is going, I say you guys probably might get, 50 to 60% of probably what you guys are used to getting. That's just being generous. Again, with this current administration, they might just give you 40% of what you guys are used to getting for your food stamps. But who's to say? Hopefully I'm wrong here. Hopefully somebody in the Trump administration will stand up and get off their knees and say, yo, we need to provide these people with the food stamps that they're used to, because people got to eat. People got to make a way. It's just crazy to me how a government shutdown happens. And again, we all know why. Democrats, Republicans on the top, they're going back and forth about things that each one of them wants, which again, I'm not mad at the Democrats holding off because again, they're trying to make sure that people have health care and not have their premiums go up, which means that they'll be paying more. I respect it. It's better in the long end. And with the government having funding, which if a government shutdown happens, which they're in right now, they're supposed to be using that funding to make sure that people have their SNAP and EBT, all that type of stuff, their food stamps in general. They're supposed to have that funding for it. It's just weird to me how they're saying that they don't have that. They don't have enough. It's just weird. They always go back to your tax dollars. They always go back to that every single thing. Your roads are covered by your tax dollars. Your schooling and all that crap has been covered by your tax dollars. Any type of replacement or remodeling of a building, statue, whatever is by tax dollars. Listen, there's so many things they say is covered by your tax dollars, which makes me think, how much taxes do the American people give out throughout the year? And where do that money truly go? Because again, I understand, as I just mentioned, the roads, buildings, repairing, all this type of stuff. But you should have some money always set to the side for when people need to have food. Now, people might say, well, we've given some money to this country, that country. Listen, dog, we make money. You have people out here that are counterfeiting bills and doing counterfeit stuff, and they make money. You mean to tell me the American government can't make money if counterfeiters are making money? It's just certain things. It just doesn't add up for me. That's what I'm trying to get at with this. There are counterfeiters who are able to make so good counterfeits that it makes people think they're the real deal, and even have the latest of latest money counter actually believe that it's real money. So if you got counterfeiters doing this, you mean to tell me our government can't do that? Again, it's weird, but long story less long, ladies and gentlemen. People should not be going without food. People should not be going out there SNAP and EBT because of a government shutdown. That shouldn't be the case. But again, this thing is way above my head, is above me. Hey, it is what it is. I just think that this is wrong on a lot of levels. Hopefully, people will get things right, and hopefully a government shutdown will end, and hopefully people can go back, or at least try to go back, to the way that life was before a government shutdown. But I have a feeling when the government shutdown does end, people will have to adjust to this new normalcy, like we do with everything. Like people have been adjusting ever since COVID happened to this new normal that we're in now. But we'll wait and see. But that's what's been going on right now with SNAP and the government shutdown right now. Anything else that's I want to talk about, or at least make mention? One last thing before I get off of the political realm spectrum here. Still coming from CNN. There will be an article posted that current and former prosecutors are alarmed after the Department of Justice scrubs mentions of Trump and the January 6th from court records. In the article, they would put that the Justice Department's decision to sideline 2 U.S. attorneys and remove mentions of Donald Trump and the U.S. Capitol attack from court papers before the sentencing of a January 6th pardoned rioter is being viewed by former and current career prosecutors as an alarming whitewashing history. The events around the case of Taylor Taranto, who was convicted of bringing illegal guns near Barack Obama's Washington, D.C. residence after talking online about violence towards the federal government, has shocked the network of Justice Department employees and alum, several sources told CNN. Taranto was arrested in June 2023 after claiming on a live stream that he had a detonator the day before. Law enforcement officials told CNN at the time and was searching for underground tunnels that led into Obama and others' homes. He had also been present at the Capitol riot and charged with related crimes, though he was never convicted because, obviously, Trump pardoned him before a trial. He already spent 23 months behind bars and he hasn't been detained since he was pardoned. Now, a Trump-appointed judge, Carl Nicholas, had found the man guilty at trial in May of the gun charges and for making a false threat to use a car bomb against a federal building. In a sentencing memo for Taranto filed Tuesday, prosecutors Carlos Valdivia and Samuel White wrote that after then former President Donald Trump published on a social media platform the address of former President Barack Obama, Taranto had reposted Trump and thereafter started live streaming from his van as he drove through Obama's neighborhood. Political reporter Kyle Cheney highlighted the filing and mentioned it also included Taranto taking part in the January 6th riot on Twitter late Tuesday. Within 24 hours, the court filing was no longer available in the court record, and the two prosecutors who had signed it were suspended from their jobs. In the original memo, Carlos Valdivia and Samuel White wrote that Taranto was accused of participating in the riot in Washington, D.C. by entering the U.S. Capitol building, and after the riot, Taranto returned to his home in the state of Washington, where he promoted conspiracy theories about the events of January 6, 2021. Two new prosecutors then filed an amendment version of the sentencing memo to the court on Wednesday. That new memo scrubbed all references to Trump and him posting Obama's supposed address, which Taranto had reposted, as well as Taranto's participation and conviction related to January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol attack. So what they're trying to say is, why is that happening? Why did you guys erase in the filing that Homeboy was a part of the January 6 riots? Why did you erase that Homeboy put up conspiracy theories about January 6? Why did you erase that Homeboy got the supposed Barack Obama address from a Donald Trump posting? And why did you guys erase that? Like, those are things that are meant to stay in a filing. They're not supposed to be erased. I understand, once again, the top dog of the United States, or at least the face of the United States, is Donald Trump. And right now, with everything's going, everyone feels that they gotta fall to their knees, kiss the ring, suck the tip of Trump, which is, again, very, very weird. Very, very nasty, because there are laws in place that you shouldn't have to do that even the top guy in our system has to follow within the rules. And with Trump doing what he's doing, it seems like he's breaking mad rules, and a lot of people aren't really going at him to task. And you don't want to be the person on the side not following him. You don't want to be the person calling him to task. I understand people are trying to do that, but if it's in a court filing and you have factual things, that should stand. That should not be replaced. That's the thing that just doesn't rub me the right way. So I'm glad that you got prosecutors looking at this. You got people looking at this situation right here, and hopefully they'll be able to throw that back in there, and hopefully they'll find some darker link to, more than likely, again, an abuse of power from, if not Trump, someone in his administration that probably had those two prosecutors kind of like removed. That's what I'm hoping for. Because again, it is an abuse of power. We see it right in our face. It's not something that is like, oh, like, no, that's not happening. No, that's happening blatantly in our face. A lot of things are blatantly happening in our face that a lot of people don't want to call out. And it's nasty business to me. But hey, man, again, we're only at the beginning of Homeboy's 4 years of being the face that is running the United States. And again, he's already doing things way differently than this. in this second run than he did in his first run. And again, I am hoping that people do get off their knees, the people in the Republican sides, and they do side with people that are Democrats, because it's not a team versus team type situation here. This is right versus wrong. And a lot of things that are happening right now is wrong. ICE right now is happening wrong. This government shutdown is wrong. A lot of other things that has been going down under his watch is wrong. And I feel that people need to get off their knees. Fight back. Especially, again, the people at the top, the people that's supposed to be the voice of the voiceless, that's supposed to represent you guys. They need to be fighting back for you guys, for real. They should. But, hey, that's all I'm going to say with that. But I am happy that you do have current prosecutors and even former prosecutors alarmed and making mention of this. I am happy about that. Now, moving off of political stuff, I do have an update for you guys here. It's about the Sonia Massey case and the cop that ended up shooting Sonia Massey. We have a conviction. On Wednesday, it was announced that Sean Grayson was convicted of second-degree murder and the shooting death of Sonia Massey. So right now, that sentencing can carry up to 20 years in prison or probation. The sentencing is scheduled for January the 29th. I am happy that this did occur, and I'm not saying that a death occurred. No, we are all sad about that. I'm talking about Sean Grayson's conviction, because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that whenever you are a police officer, I don't think, me personally, the first thing you should go after on your belt is your gun. You guys should have a taser gun or something like that if you feel just a little bit threatened by someone that doesn't have a gun on their hands, or they might have something else like a knife, or in this case, he thought it was the freaking pot that had hot water in it. You can just have your stun gun on you, and you can just quickly shoot it at someone to kind of like tase them, something like that. You do not have to go for your gun. A gun has a bullet, and a bullet kills people is on the way of how you shoot them. You shoot them in the arm, you shoot them in the leg. You get my point. But in our minds, guns kill people because we're shooting to kill, usually, the time. A stun gun wouldn't have killed her, just would have tased her a little bit, and she still will be living today. But that did not happen. He pulled a gun, shot her, and it was stupid. So he has to sit up in prison. Again, he will find out whether he'll be getting 20 years, lesser, or whatever the case may be, on January the 29th. I'm hoping that he'll get the 20 years, because there does need to be a precedent set for police officers. There does need to be a precedent set for police officers that are stupid for going out of their way and just acting completely dumb when they don't got to. Because again, this was a case that was completely preventable. You didn't have to shoot her. You could have got a taser. You could have got anything else. You could have even rushed over to her and tried to grab the water out of her hand. She would have thrown the hot water on you. And yes, it would have stung like the dickens. But she would still be alive. You would have been on, what? You would have been on some type of medical, all that. But like, dog, you didn't do that. Only because she says, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and then you just shoot her? I don't like it, but yeah, you got to pay the consequences for that. So, again, there needs to be a precedent set for that. And I'm hoping that he gets 20 years. I really do. Speaking of, there needs to be a precedent set. I don't know if you guys happen to see this viral video that went around this past week of a police officer trying to run down a man with his police car. CBS will write up an article about it. Baltimore City's police commissioner, Richard Worley, spoke during a quarterly consent decree hearing about a viral video that, as I mentioned, an officer driving aggressively trying to run over a person with his car. That officer has been identified as Robert A. Parks and has been suspended. He has been a member of the police department since 2020. The commissioner would say, first I saw it, I thought it was AI. I honestly did. I thought because you can do so many things with AI, we had to make sure the video was real. The department has opened an internal investigation and is reviewing the body-worn camera from that viral incident. Park's police powers are now suspended, and he is currently working in an administrative capacity, according to the department. That's nasty. I hate that so much, but that's where we're at with this. Homeboy should be arrested. There's no way. You just tried to commit murder. At least try to, dog. You're trying to hit a person with a car. A police car. If you guys didn't happen to see it, you guys can watch it. You see an officer talk to a dude. And again, this is already seeming like this was a situation that was already occurring. I'm not sure if he was stopping him to try to search him for something or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But homeboy, the police officer, just happens to get into his car. He starts driving his vehicle and tries to hit homeboy that he was talking to. The dude luckily did not get hit. He starts running away from the officer in the car. The car starts trying to follow him. And that's what we see of that. And that's disturbing. That's completely disturbing. This cop should be arrested for attempted murder. Imagine someone tried to run over and hit a cop. They would try to call that attempted murder. Or at least reckless endangerment or something like that. They would have called that something. They would have had homeboy arrested. But instead, in this case, you don't do that. You guys just say, you know what? We're going to suspend the officer as we're doing an investigation. The hell are you talking about? You guys know that video is real. It's not AI. You guys know that. AKA meaning you guys just don't want to do it. Now, I do hope that there will be some civil unrest in Baltimore. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Again, nobody was killed in this. So we do got to thank the Lord for that. And thank the person for recording said event. Because if it wasn't recorded, a lot of things could have happened. A cop could have ran that guy over. And it would have just been the word of the officer against the man that got clipped. But, yeah, man. There needs to be a precedent set for officers. You can't do stupid things and expect it to be all right. This man should not be suspended. This man should be arrested. And I'm hoping that by the grace of anything, with this investigation that is going to be happening right now, homeboy will be arrested. Homeboy will be tried. Something of the sort will happen. Something. And he will be fired from his position. That's what I am hoping for. But again, time will tell with that. But yeah, these police officers, there needs to be some type of precedent set with them doing and performing idiotic things. And speaking of idiotic things and someone being fired, there's another video that went around this past, the past couple of days, at least on my trending videos I've seen on Twitter. There was a substitute teacher. I don't know what school she was substituting for. Oh no, right here. An article right here. Daily Dot. They will say a substitute teacher's first day in a Mississippi classroom ended in termination and a viral backlash after a TikTok video drew criticism for what viewers called an inappropriate comment towards a student. If you guys didn't see the video, there was a woman that was substituting. She did a day get ready with me, or one of those things that people do whenever they start documenting their hour by hour for what they've done. And this substitute did it for going into that school and being a substitute. So documenting hour by hour what she did, what she's like as a substitute, all that. But the big kerfuffle that people have is that apparently there was some type of, I'm not sure if it was a in-school type of walking inside the hallway parade or whatever the crap was. But you see a banner being held, people walking. You see at one moment, it seemed like it was a student that was walking in this little faux parade in the hallway. Look at the substitute. The substitute looks at the student. The student starts turning their head away. And then the voiceover, you hear the substitute make a comment saying, "Shawty," and saying that I got to get up out of here. These kids trying to take me down. Now, in slang term, trying to take me down is trying to have relations with me. That's what take me down is. And people were getting at the substitute teacher for this. People were getting at the substitute for saying that the student wanted to get with him. But here's the thing. The substitute ends up getting fired. Cool. People have been flaming the substitute for days about this. And even the substitute would even get on Twitter and put up a post saying that they understand why people commit unalivement because of the harassment that they get from people online. They get it. I'm going to say this. For anyone that is a teacher, anyone that wants to be a teacher, anyone that even wants to be a substitute teacher, I think you should not be trying to do these little TikTok videos. You should be going to the job, do the job, and get out. I think if you want to make a viral video, I think you need to ask the school for permission to do a viral video, tell them of your plan of what you want to do, and then if they give you the A-OK, then guess what? You do said viral video, and if you happen to include any of the students in it, you probably want to tell the students about said viral video that you're doing. Because their whole thing was, at least the school was, they eliminated her from they removed her as a substitute because of recording the students without their permission. Okay, cool, great. I just don't think that you should be doing that, personally. If you're a teacher or even a substitute, why do you gotta record something? Why you gotta try to put something on your TikToks? Why you gotta... It just doesn't fit with me the right way. Just do your job. If you're a substitute, you know what a job is as a substitute. Be lackadaisical with the kids. Make sure they follow what they gotta follow. And you can be friendly. You can be chummy with them. But that doesn't mean you have to try to do a TikTok. That's not a thing that you should be doing. So for me, I can see why the substitute got released from her position. I just, again, let that be a precedent for the next substitute that walks in there or walks into any school. Don't be stupid. Do your job and just get out. If you want to do something social media wise, guess what? You wait after the situation is over. You wait after your job is done of teaching that kid for that day, and then you do your whole social media stuff. That's all you got to do. You don't have to try to do it while you're on the job. But again, we'll wait and see. Hopefully people will learn from this, but probably not, because we are in the age where people are just doing anything for likes and clicks, and we'll wait and see what happens there. Anything else? Oh yeah, quick hits. Just gotta throw a little quick hits at you here. MTV has decided to finally, after 14 years, kill the show Ridiculousness. So Ridiculousness has been canceled by MTV. MTV has decided to part ways with Ridiculousness. Rob Dyrdek, this was the thing that caught everyone by surprise. Rob Dyrdek made approximately $32 million from, I'm not even going to say all of his time during Ridiculousness. They were saying that he was making $32 million per year for his work on the Ridiculousness show. That's a lot of money, man. They would say he made $32.5 million annually as part of a 336 episode per year deal. That includes bonuses, a $21,000 per episode executive producer fee, and an on-camera fee that starts at $61,000 but could climb to six figures. So Homeboy has been raking in mad money off of MTV, and hey, MTV has finally axed Ridiculousness. Cool, great. Apparently that was the longest running, no, not the longest, but they said that was a long running show on MTV, and they're not wrong, because I remember MTV introducing Ridiculousness, and they said they did it back in 2011, and I remember the little beef that Tosh.0 had with Ridiculousness, because they felt that Ridiculousness was ripping off them, because Tosh.0 was, again, another show that was on Comedy Central, and they were making fun of not gonna say viral clips, but just clips off the internet. Rob Dyrdek just being who he was because he was so beloved from the MTV times, from him being on Robin Big and him doing another show, the Fantasy Factory. Rob Dyrdek had a nice relationship with MTV, so they decided to give him ridiculousness. And after 14 years and 1,700 episodes, that's a lot, by the way, he's done. And again, he got mad money. Rob Dyrdek can just go away and just sit off and just be cool with all the money he kicked off of MTV. That is not a bad heist at all. My man robbed them completely, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying that he robbed them, that he didn't do any work, but I'll just say this. For 336 episodes, which I believe the former host at the time, Chanel West Coast, said that they recorded about probably 6 in episode 7, maybe. I'm forgetting the numbers, but it was a nice amount of numbers per day that they used to shoot. I'm pretty sure he was able to take care of that relatively quickly. And, yeah, man, he got his money. Rob Dyrdek, I salute you. If anything else, teach people the ways of how you're able to, get a cash grab out of a company. Cause boy, that needs to be studied. It truly does. Two more things. NFL, they have decided to add on a pre-Super Bowl concert for the actual Super Bowl, and they decided to have Sting a part of the pre-Super Bowl concert extravaganza. People are saying that they have succumbed to people getting at them for having Bad Bunny as the halftime show. When it was kind of reported, to me at first, it made it seem like they were saying that NFL is going to be replacing Bad Bunny with Sting. And I was like, are you serious? And then when I read more into it, I was like, oh, okay. So they didn't replace Bad Bunny. They just added concerts leading up to it. So, okay, cool. NFL, they're letting all the other pure red-blooded dummy mega hat fan Americans know that, hey, we're still going to have Bad Bunny, but if you guys want to listen to other music before the Super Bowl, guess what? We're going to have Sting performing, so you guys can have that there. But we're still having Bad Bunny. So that's still happening. Again, I'm glad that they didn't bend the knee like that. They just kind of tilted a little bit, but they didn't bend it to them. So I am happy about that. But Sting, he got a bag, man. He got a bag for the NFL. So congratulations to him. One last thing. We just got done with Halloween, but I do have to make mention of this. The Scream movie franchise, they're getting another movie in February. They said February 27th because the trailer did drop. Scream 7 will be showing up in theaters. I saw the trailer for it. It was a nice, solid trailer. We do know that homeboy that plays Shaggy, he was Stu in the first Scream. We know that he's supposed to be back in the Scream movie because you saw in that trailer the actress that plays Sydney and David Arquette's ex-wife. She's back in that as well because they weren't in it in the last Scream movie. Those two are back in it this one. You know that homeboy that played Shaggy, he was Stu in the first Scream. He's going to be in this one. They really never showed him, by the way. They did not show him in this trailer. So it could make you think that Ghostface is him. But I have a feeling that they're going to do what they did in the last Scream. It's probably going to be him and his kid terrorizing Sydney and Sydney's daughter. Because in this one, they're going to really focus on Sydney having a daughter, Sydney being a teenager and trying to kill her as well with the mother. So I have a feeling they're going to have that be the thing. But yeah, go watch the trailer if you're into Scream. Scream is not by the way, just want to say this. Scream is not a horror movie. Scream is a suspense thriller to me. Horror movies to me are like those mystical creature type situations or people being possessed. And other things are like gory. Like Final Destination, I feels like a suspense horror type thing because you don't know when death is going to hit you and take you out. So I would put Final Destination up there. The Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy whole thing, that's a horror to me. It, Pennywise, that whole creature, that's horror to me. Hostel, those movies are horror. Jigsaw's a horror because again, all the goriness to that. But Scream, the Ghostface character, I just don't see that as a horror thing. I see that as a suspense and thriller. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Scream 7 is coming out February 27th, 2025, if I'm not mistaken. But that is not an ad. I am not getting paid by the company at all, the production place at all. I am just a person that actually happens to like the Scream franchises. I got into them, during college when I watched like the YouTube Dead Meats. That's the YouTube channel that does the whole kill counts for all the horror movies. And I knew about Scream and I just clicked on one of the videos and I saw it. I was like, seeing the kills, I was like, oh, those aren't horror kills. So again, that's just me being a guy, and I just started to divulge and dive into the Scream franchise after that. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see more of the trailers that's going to be coming out leading up to it. But I think that one's going to be a nice one. And I already see people trying to boycott it because of not having Jenna Ortega or the other girl in it because of Jenna standing with the other actress who was with Palestine. And again, the whole Hollywood movement of, they can't rock with companies that are not rocking with Palestine. It's with the Israel side of this. So that's why she's not in the Scream movies now. But I've seen people try to protest it. Do I think it's going to work? No. I think it's going to get certain people, but I think on a large scale, no, because people want to see Stu come back, because people thought that Stu would be back in the last edition or even the one when they decided to reprise Scream again. But I think it's going to have a short protest from certain people, but even then they're probably going to go back just to see it and see what's going to happen. But yeah, those are the quick hits for me in entertainment. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything that I do want to talk to you guys about. So with that said, it is time for me to get you guys out of here. I would like to thank every single one of you guys for tuning in to another episode of the My 2 Cents podcast presented by and hosted by G2. I want to say thank you to everyone that downloaded the episode, listened to me in your car, in your home, in your headphones, speakers, in the gym. Dog, you could be listening to me anywhere, and I appreciate it because you don't have to. You don't have to listen to me. You can just listen to anything else in the world, but you decided to listen to me, and I appreciate that so much. So I'd like to thank you guys, but I'd also like to thank the podcasting houses, the podcasting stations, because without them, I wouldn't be able to get this podcast out to you guys and downloaders and listeners. So I'd like to thank them as well. And I am very appreciative of everything because I see where they're coming from. I see where the downloads are coming from. It's not just the United States podcast. It is an international podcast because it does reach other countries. So I do appreciate everybody out there so very much. So with that said, always remember,
I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
That is not a gimmick. I really do love and appreciate every single one of you. And I do want to say, please watch over everyone. Please say a prayer for the people that are in disaster areas, people that have been going through things this past year. Please say a prayer for them. And I do hope as we're going into holiday times, and I mean holiday big festivities times, I'm hoping that people will be kinder to everyone. Because again, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what type of situation they've been through throughout the year. And I think if you're just kind to people, it will brighten them up and it'll make them feel better. Okay. Now, with that being said, This has been the My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. He is I and I am him. I want everyone to have a great rest of the day. This is a goodbye. This is until you hear from the sweet sounding voice again. And with that said, Kanye, could you please take these people home?
I'm tired, you tired, Jesus wept.